Before we get into this, please make sure you subscribe. My name is Izzy, I'm a journalist and I make a lot of videos on this channel about sort of animal-based issues. A lot of them are pet-based and sort of raising awareness on a lot of different topics and issues that are related to animals. You can also listen to these in audio form on Spotify if you prefer, so I will link that down below. Today we are talking all about hearing dogs, and we're speaking to a really brilliant organisation called Hearing Dogs for Deaf People. Now, 12 million adults in the UK are deaf or have a hearing loss or tinnitus. And when you're watching this as well, it has been Deaf Awareness Week this week. Let's talk all about Hearing Dogs for Deaf People. So they're basically a charity / organisation that train thousands of dogs who are provided to those with any hearing loss, and they are basically there to help them with their everyday living, alerting them to sounds that they might normally miss, so things like fire alarms and smoke alarms, things around the house, alarm clocks, different things like that. Stuff that, you know, people who can hear in their everyday life around the house, whereas people who have a hearing loss struggle to. And Hearing Dogs for Deaf People have over 1,100 working hearing dog partnerships across the UK. A big reason why I wanted to cover this today is because training a hearing dog is extremely expensive. It can cost from about £40,000 to £45,000 to train them throughout their lifetime. So I just want to explain the sort of different types of dogs that the organisation trains and provides for people. So there is 3 main types. So you've got a hearing dog, which is basically, you'll see them with a jacket, and they have full assistant dog access rights. And they're basically provided for deaf people who need support inside their home as well as outside their home when they are out and about. You've got a sound support dog. They're basically for people who need sound support in their home but not outside their home. And then you've got a companion dog. And these are basically for people that don't necessarily need support with sounds as such, but benefit from the emotional support and companionship, because this is something we'll get into as well. Having a hearing loss, any type of hearing loss, can be very isolating for a lot of people. So having that companionship of a companion dog is a massive support for them. So today we're going to be heading to Lynn Park in Disley, which is just on the outskirts of Manchester, in Stockport, for the Great British Dog Walk. Now, this is an event that Hearing Dogs for Deaf People hold all across the UK, and it's basically a sponsored event to raise money for the organisation and its partnerships, but to also raise awareness of hearing dogs as well. And this event isn't just for hearing dogs. Anyone can go along and support the charity. So you'll see quite a few pet dogs in this as well. Just want to clarify that not all of these that you'll see will be hearing dogs, but we are going to speak to the team today and find out a little bit more about how a hearing dog and the different types of dogs that they train impact a person who is hard of hearing's life, as well as the process of training a hearing dog from when they're born up until when they are provided to someone. So we'll get into all of that as well. So without further ado, let's go meet Hearing Dogs for Deaf People on the Great British Dog Walk. As you can see, quite literally every man and his dog is here ready to set off on the Great British Dog Walk. So I can't wait to find out a little bit more about the charity as a whole, as well as why having a hearing dog is so important for deaf people and what more could be done to provide more of them, as I say, they're not cheap to provide. So yeah, let's set off. About Hearing Dogs for Deaf People and the organisation as a whole.
Hearing Dogs was formed about 43 years ago, and the aim of the organisation is to support people who have a hearing loss, to be able to be aware of sounds that hearing people take for granted. So I have a hearing dog, and she will wake me up in the morning. She tells me about the doorbell, the cooker timer, microwave. She's also trained to come and fetch me if somebody is calling me. And very importantly, she's trained to tell me about the fire alarm, smoke alarm, burglar alarm and carbon monoxide alarm.
And how does having a hearing dog impact a person who is hard of hearing's life?
My life depends on her basically, because if the fire alarm goes off in the night, I can't hear it, so she will alert me to that sound. It's more than that, in that she gives me the companionship, and if I get frustrated because I'm not hearing what people are saying, having your dog by your side lean against you in empathy, it's a real kind of confidence booster as well. Because the dogs have their jackets on, it's a sign, if you like, to the general public that I have a hearing loss, and that hopefully they will be able to accommodate my needs in communication.
We have 4 types of dogs, breeds of dogs for the charity. So poodles, Labradors, Cockapoos and Cocker Spaniels. And about 8 weeks after they've been born, they go to a socialiser, and they'll stay there for 12 to 18 months, and they'll get used to all the sounds that make them really bomb-proof dogs. So they're taken into shops, with slidey doors, onto trains, buses, busy places, and they also go to puppy classes as well for some of the basic sounds. And then once they start to get towards that age, they're then trained up into the sound work.
What more could be done to provide more funds so there is more availability for them?
The charity is desperate for more support from organisations and individuals to help sponsor the dogs. And the walk today at Lime Park is a fun way for everybody to get together and meet up with other dogs, not necessarily hearing dogs.
And why are events like the Great British Dog Walk so important for the charity?
It makes people aware of the charity, and unlike, say, guide dogs, we're less well known, even though we've been going for a long time. And it helps raise awareness to the general public that there are these dogs that can offer support to people, and offer the companionship that you get from your hearing dog, and hopefully raise awareness, raise money. And it's a nice way for us all to get together as well, because when you are part of Hearing Dogs, whether you're a volunteer or fundraiser or recipient, you're very much part of a family. My friends here, I've met them through Hearing Dogs, and you just expand your social circle with people who understand as well about deafness.
Thanks so much for Hearing Dogs for Deaf People for letting me come along to the Great British Dog Walk to speak to you guys and also raise awareness on a very important week, which is Deaf Awareness Week, as well as in general throughout every day of the year, because it is really, really important. And thank you guys for watching this video as well. Do go and support Hearing Dogs for Deaf People. I'll link all their details below. Might not even be necessarily donating to charity, but even just sharing their page on your social media is a massive support as well. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next podcast / video, whatever you want to call these things. I'm going to be covering a lot of different topics throughout the course of this year especially, so do stay tuned and I will see you soon.